Hey guys, today's Lost Sector is Aphelions Rest in the Dreaming City. If you just want to see the build, skip to about 1 minute and 50 seconds. If you were just here to see a Lost Sector run, it took me about 1 minute and 50 seconds. With a little bit of practice and quite a few runs, it'd be easy to get the time down to probably about 1 minute and 30 to 2 minutes. Overall, there's 2 Unstoppables and 2 Overloads in this Lost Sector. It's a great day to farm it, so happy farming. Hey guys, just wanted to do a real quick unscripted post commentary about the build. We're going to be doing it on Striker Titan today with Thunder Crash. I like to use Thruster. You can use any subclass ability. I use Catapult. Once again, you can use any jump. Thunderclap is probably the best melee for today's Lost Sector, but you can make a case for Seismic Strike since it can stun unstoppable champions. I like to use Storm Grenade or Pulse Grenades. It just depends on what I'm doing. Since there's lots of small enemies, the Storm Grenade moving around will kill most of them for me. Moving on to the aspects, we're going to be using Touch of Thunder. Lightning or Storm Grenade, after detonating, creates a roaming thundercloud that tracks nearby targets and fires bolts of lightning. Very good for Storm Grenades. Knockout, critically wounding a target or breaking their shield. Infuses your melee attack with Arc Energy, increases your melee range and damage for a short time. Not only good for PvP, also PvE. Spark of Feedback. They punch you, you punch back harder, plus 10 resilience. Good accessory. Spark of Shock makes our grenades jolt targets. Good for stunning the overloads in this Lost Sector. Spark of Magnitude makes our lightning nades last longer. Or storm nades, I mean. Spark of Resistance, while we're surrounded, we take less damage. I don't know, I'm usually surrounded. It's helpful for me. For somebody that's not surrounded all the time, I would go for Spark of Ions. Gives you Ionic Traces, which is ability cooldown reduction. Moving on to my guns for the day. I'm going to be using a hand cannon just in case. I mean, I have Leviathan's Breath on for unstoppable stuns, but hand cannon just in case. I'm using Inerter of Loop. You could really get away with any fusion. I also just have it because Volt Shot as a secondary for stunning the overloads because it jolts. Looking at the artifact, Authorized Mods Melee is really good. Not super great for this build, but it's probably one of the better mods on the sheet. Electric Armor is okay, makes you stay amplified longer, kind of meh. Countercharge is kind of nice. Thunderous Retort makes our super deal more damage when we're critically wounded or amplified, absolutely amazing. And Amped Up, gain damage resistance while amplified, is kind of what makes it so you can play the Rambo playstyle while you are amplified. Lightning Strikes twice after throwing an Arc Grenade, get increased grenade recharge, very, very good. And Shock and All. Arc Final Blows while you're amplified, summon a burst of lightning that damages and jolts targets. Just another way for us to jolt targets and get Ionic Traces for ability cooldowns. Moving on to the mods. I have a hands-on and an Ashes to Assets, and a Arc Siphon mod since I'm using an Arc weapon. Helps me get my super back faster. Firepower and heavy-handed also help with that. I have a grenade kickstart just because I want to throw my grenade as much as possible, although that does kind of hurt the emergency reinforcement. I just use 2 random elemental resistances depending on what's in the lost sector. I like emergency reinforcement. I think it's a super underrated mod, and I'm surprised people don't talk about it a little bit more. Gets you out of some pretty hairy situations. Looking at the boots, I just have some safety mods on my boots because for lost sectors in particular, you don't really need a surge mod, especially with amped up making, or not amped up. Whichever one of these mods makes your super deal more damage while you're amped. You don't really need the extra boss damage from your rocket because of that. For the mark, I have powerful attraction. This is kind of trying to replicate that Arc Hunter build where you roll and pick up your orbs, because I have thruster on, and then just 2 random class ability region mods because I'm going to be using thruster a lot. Stats wise, you can see I'm trying to go for 100 split. I would literally only go for these 3 stats, maybe a little bit of strength. Intellect isn't too important, you'll get your super by the time you get to the boss, and 20 mobility is the sweet spot. Thanks for watching and happy farming.